Hello and welcome. Let's do a cabin painting today. First of all, I've got a 2-inch brush and I've just got some phthalo green mixed with a bit of white. I'm just going back and forth to create the horizon line of my sky. Once you've done with that, you want to keep it around the centre. I'm using the same brush and I've just loaded it with some phthalo blue this time, starting in the top corner, and I'm going to start slowly working my way down towards the green. I've reloaded the 2-inch brush with the blue colour, and I'm going to slowly work my way across and then come down very slowly so I can meet up with that green. If you do crisscross strokes as you work your way down, your colour will blend a lot nicer, and once you meet up with the green it'll not leave a harsh line which is hard to blend out. So as you can see, I'm meeting up with the green now. I don't want to go down too much further than where the top of the green is. I just want to meet up with that green, and then I can slowly blend the two colours together up until a point where it looks like you can't tell where one colour stops and the next one starts. Once again guys, and as usual, all the equipment that I'm going to be using in this painting will be in the video description. So if you want to have a go at this exact painting, everything that you'll need, you just check the video description out and it'll all be listed in there for you. Okay, so using the exact same blue colour on the same brush, I'm just going to start at the bottom. I'm just going to go all the way across the canvas from left to right, back and forth, and I'm going to work my way up, once again, all the way up to where the green is. To where the bottom of the green is, should I say. As you can see, I've worked my way up towards that green, and now that I'm there, I'm just going to go back and forward, and I'm just going to slowly blend the colours together where they meet up. So once again, you can't tell where one stops and the next one starts. And then just blend in your blue colour however you want to, really. The only purpose this blue serves at the bottom, it's just going to work out as shadows for the snow once I get the snow in the painting, which you'll see shortly. Okay, using a half-size round brush, I've just loaded it with some blue, some pink and some brown, just to make a very dark purple colour. And all I'm doing is just tapping backwards and forwards, just to create some very distant basic tree shapes. So I'm not dragging the brush or sliding it, I'm just literally tapping in some roundish shapes, just to create some distant, very distant basic tree shapes. As you're tapping away, just step back and have a look at your painting from a distance. That way you'll see more of what the perspective is like, and then you can adjust your shape as you want to. But as long as the basic shapes, with no detailing hardly, because these are going to be far in the background, then you'll be absolutely fine. So I'm going to create 3 or 4 of these shapes, and all I'm wanting really is for them all to be slightly different. So I don't want them to be the same size or the same height, I just want them to be all slightly different, and then we'll be good to go. I think I'll create a slightly taller one on this side, but exactly the same way as I've just done the other two. Just nice and steady, keep tapping away some nice distant basic roundish shapes that'll resemble a tree shortly when we come to highlight it. I'm just going to make this one a little bit wider and a little bit rounder because it looks a bit too similar to the one next to it. That's all I'm doing. It's just adjusting it slightly. And I think we'll just add one more at the side, and we'll just make this one a little one, just to fill in the background. Okay, so using a script liner brush, I've dipped my brush into a load of paint thinner, and I've loaded it with some Van Dyke brown. It's just brown on its own, and with the paint thinner mixed with it, it's very thin. It's about the consistency of ink, and I'm just dragging the brush up just to create some distant tree branches and tree trunks within these shapes. You don't need to worry too much about how these look or turn out, because most of them is going to be hidden anyway when we come to highlight it with the white highlights. But the main thing is, for this paint to stick, make sure it's really thin. That's why I've gone into the paint thinner, and that way it should just slide right on top of the paint that's already down. And then we'll just add a little one to this little tree at the side to finish off. Okay, using a round brush again, the same one that I used to make the tree shapes. I've dipped it into some liquid white, and then I've mixed that with some titanium white oil paint. The only thing the liquid white does is it makes the paint thinner, similar to the way the paint thinner did to the tree branches. I've just made this white paint nice and thin so that it'll stick on top of the purple paint that's already there. And all I'm doing is I'm using the corner of the brush only, and I'm tapping very gently in order to avoid mixing the paint with the purple colour underneath. And that way, because it's thinner and I'm tapping very lightly, the paint should just stick on top and create some very nice lacy looking leaf shapes. You will notice as I'm doing this that I'm leaving plenty of dark areas in between each set of leaves. That's the most important thing you can do. If you leave plenty of dark areas, it's not going to all turn out flat by looking all the same bright white colour. By leaving the dark colours in, it's making it look more three-dimensional. Make sure you use the same technique for each tree that you do. So the main thing is thin paint, lots of paint, tap gently and leave plenty of dark areas, and that's all you need to worry about. If you can manage that, then you'll create some lovely looking leaf shapes. And not only that, but all of your trees and bushes, they'll all look like they've got depth in them, and they'll look more three-dimensional and not flat. And just while I finish these trees off, guys, if you do enjoy watching these videos and you'd like to see more, don't forget, hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button for the video, and that'll just enable YouTube to push this video out to more people, and the more people that see it, the more opportunities I've got to help more people learn how to paint, basically. So if you can, hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and then ideally if you leave a comment for me, whether you've got a question or you just want to let me know what you thought of the video, that would be great, and I'll get back to you all as soon as I can. Now we'll just finish this little tree off in the exact same way. Leave plenty of darks, and then we're good to go on to the next step. Okay, let's move on to probably what's the easiest thing to paint in this method, and that's snow. So all we do for snow, you just load your brush up with white paint. You can use any brush that you want. I'm just using a round brush today, the same one I've just highlighted the trees with. And I'm just dragging the paint across into and slightly down, just because I want to create like a hill. So whichever way you drag your paint down, that's the way the land's going to flow. I'm just coming underneath the trees and literally just dragging the white paint down backwards and forwards. And that's all it really takes to paint snow like this. And you'll notice that the colours we've already got down, the greens and the blues, they will create the shadows in the snow automatically. So if I were to paint white on white, you wouldn't see anything. But because the colour's down, it looks great. Okay, I've just loaded a fan brush up with some black, blue, pink and brown, just to create a nice dark colour. I've just tapped in a little tree trunk, as you can see, and then I'm going to use only the corner of the brush from the top, tap very gently so the bristles point upwards. I'm just tapping very gently as I come down, and the further I come down the harder I tap side to side, and it just creates like the zigzaggy leafy effect. And this is how you paint evergreen trees with the limbs pointed upwards like so. As you get to the bottom you need to tap harder and harder, use more of the brush, and that way the limbs will get bigger automatically, like so. We'll start the next one in the same way, just tapping in the trunk to start with, and then I'm going to reload, get my fan brush, start with just the corner of the brush only, with the brush to the side, start tapping very gently, and as I work my way down, I'm going to tap harder and harder and harder, going from left to the middle to the right, then back to the middle to the left and to the right, like in a zigzagging motion, and that way the tree will get bigger and bigger and bigger as you work your way down, like so. Reload as often as necessary. You don't need to do the brush in do the tree in one full load. You can reload 2 or 3 times if you need to. Just make sure you keep plenty of paint in that brush. Okay, I've grabbed a 2-inch brush this time, and I've loaded it with the same colour that I've used for the evergreens. I'm just tapping in some lacy leafy effects, and this is going to be a large tree at the side just to fill in this corner. And all I'm doing is loading it full of paint quite often, and I'm not sliding the brush, but I'm just tapping it and bending the bristles upwards slightly, and that just gives you some leafy effects right at the ends, like so. And now I've decided I'm just going to finish this tree off by just making it a bit taller so it goes to the edge of the canvas like so, just to make it a bit bigger. Okay, so I think I've decided that I want these trees to be on top of a hill sort of thing. So what I'm going to do, once I just finish this tree off, I'm just going to grab my round brush with the snow paint on it, and I'm just going to drag a bit of that colour from the bottom of the trees across and down, as you see, and that'll create another plane, another piece of land where the snow is in front of the snow at the back, and it just makes the trees look like they're on top of a hill, that easy, that quickly, like so. And then just fill that in. Using the same round brush that I used for the snow earlier, I've just reloaded it with some liquid white and titanium white, basically a thin white oil paint, and I'm just going to highlight this tree by pushing the bristles into it slightly and then turning the brush to create some like fan shapes. And the main thing is I need to leave plenty of dark areas in this tree as well. This goes for any tree or bush. Leave plenty of dark areas so the tree looks more three-dimensional and it stops it from going flat. Reload the brush often. You need this because you need plenty of paint in the brush, otherwise if you start losing paint and you push harder, it's just going to mix with the black colour underneath and it's just going to turn to mud. So plenty of paint, no pressure, keep the paint nice and thin, leave plenty of dark areas, and then you're good to go, you can't fail. Using the same colour but mixed with a little bit of blue just to darken it, I'm going to use the fan brush and I'm just going to highlight these evergreens. I'm just going to tap in the same colour nice and gently, and the colour's thinner as well. I've also added liquid white to this. Backwards and forwards, again leave plenty of dark areas, and I'm just going to highlight these evergreens. I want plenty of dark areas in these, and I've used a darker colour so that they stand out against the white tree next to it. Okay, and this is the moment of truth. Let's create the dreaded cabin. So I'm going to start out by scratching in a general cabin shape with the knife. So I'm just going to go straight across, and then using the clean knife I'm just going to drag downwards to create the top of the roof. And all I'm doing here is scraping away the paint that's already there. I'm not adding anything, I'm just scraping away. And then create the eave of the roof down the side there by coming down at an angle. And then I'm going to scrape away the paint that will be at the front of the cabin, like so. So get your knife and just drag it down. The reason we do this is, at first you don't need to be committed if you change your mind, but mainly there's going to be a lot less paint underneath, so that the paint that you use for the cabin will stick much easier, like so. Okay, I've loaded a roll of paint onto the knife. It's just straight Van Dyke brown. I'm just going to start with the eave of the roof by putting some brown paint there, and then down the front of the roof like so to create the triangle, like that. And then I'm going to start dragging the paint down to create the front of the cabin. All I'm doing is blocking in paint at this point. It's just straight brown paint that I'm going to paint on top of, but I'm just wanting to get the general shape. And then we'll do the same thing down the side, just blocking some brown paint, blocking the colour, just to fill in the cabin shape, like so. Using a mixture of brown and white, very lightly just touch and drag your knife down, no pressure whatsoever. And what this is going to do is it's going to break the paint up as you come down, and it's going to make the wood on the cabin look very old and decrepit, like so. No pressure, just pull down. Make sure when you mix the brown and the white you don't mix it thoroughly, make sure it's marbled, and that'll give you all the different colours that you can see here, like so. We'll just finish the side off, like so. Just tidy it up as however you like. And then we're going to start with the snow, so I'm going to put a line of snow or white paint across the top, and then across the back like so. I'm just touching, I'm not dragging, I'm just touching. And then using that colour I'm going to start at the top, reload, and I'm just going to drag it down to fill in the top of the roof like so. Quite a bit of pressure. We're not painting a mountain, we're doing the roof, so quite a bit of pressure. Start at the top and just pull down in the same angle as what the roof is. Go to the front, same again. If you miss a few spots like I have there, just reload your knife, and then one more time, start at the top and then pull down, and then just like that you've got a nice snowy roof on your cabin. And just to finish that off, just tap in a line of snow on the top of the eave on the other side of the roof like so, and then that'll finish the roof of your cabin off nicely. We need a way to get in and out of this cabin, so we need to put a door on. So I've loaded it with dark paint. Just drag your knife across, and there we go. That's your door painted, just like that. If you want to create some boards, just get a clean knife and just drag into the paint some lines like so, and that'll cut through the paint and make it look like there's some boards in your cabin. You don't have to do this, but I just thought I'd show you. And then we'll do the same down the side as well if you want to. Just going to go over that door and just darken it a touch more to make it stand out. There we go, much better, much better. Using a clean knife, just cut the bottom of your cabin off where you want it. If you want it a bit shorter especially, you can just cut the paint off like that and go across the bottom just to get rid of the excess paint. Don't worry about dragging it into your snow because we're going to paint over that in a second. But this is just to get your perspective right and just get rid of the bottom of the cabin where it's untidy. Using a fan brush loaded with some more white and blue snow paint, just touch the bottom of the cabin and just drag the paint down, and that way you're going to set the cabin right into the snow and it's going to look nice, neat and tidy like so. and then just do the same at the side like that. And as you can see, it's tidied it right up, and now the cabin looks like it's sat right in the snow like that. And all I'm doing from this point is just tidying up and painting the snow in. I'm using the blue paint underneath. That's creating the shadows of the snow automatically for me. So that's easy. And all I'm doing is just filling in the white paint of the snow in whichever way or whichever direction I want the land to go. In this case, I want the cabin and the trees on top of that hill. So I'm just painting downwards. I'm just going to use a larger round brush here, just filled with some more white paint, just to fill in some more of the snow, just so it doesn't take quite as long. And that's literally all I'm doing, is I'm just filling in the snow is in as and wherever I want it. Basically, you can put your snow wherever, but I'm doing it this way because I'm going to create this stream, as you can see. So I've just loaded the same brush with some blue paint. I'm just dragging down in a straight line, not to the sides, just straight down. As I come closer, the lines get bigger and bigger, like so. And then as I work my way to the end, I'm going to clean and dry the brush a little bit, and I'm just going to drag straight across, like so, straight lines. And then that's going to create a nice little watery stream. And the final thing I'm going to do in this painting, I've just took some more of the white paint on the fan brush. Now that the stream's finished, I just want to tidy up the edge where the land meets the water. I'm just creating some little pockets of land, some little ledges where you can stand and near the water. And it just tidies that edge up and just makes it look more realistic, like so. And just as I finish this land off, you can see what a big difference it makes. Just makes it look more realistic, and it just tidies that edge up a little bit and makes it look like a proper stream. Then the final thing we need to do in this painting is we just need to do the same on the other side. Just create some snowy land areas that go down towards the water. Make sure your land doesn't go straight, make sure it does go at an angle from left to right. Make sure it goes downwards, because as you know, water always stays in a recessed area. So we want his land going down so that it looks like the water's just trapped in that little valley and it's just flowing past nicely. And all we're doing to achieve that, we're just using the fan brush and we're just dragging the white paint down just to create some sharp little edges like we did the other side, and it just makes the water look realistic and it just tidies that edge up a little bit. You could add a lot more things to this painting, like fences and paths and things like that, but at the end of the day I want to keep this a simple one for the beginners. Okay, just as I finish up here, that'll be this painting complete. It's a nice simple one. If you struggle with cabins or you want to have a go, this is a brilliant painting to have a go with. It does use limited colours, so have a go with it. Let me know what you think. If you do enjoy the video, leave me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and yeah, I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.